Y'all give a great big welcome to Michael Reno Harrell and Eli Laughrun to the big plate live from Barley's.
Sitting in the drive-thru lane in Wendy's listening to the radio. It's 32 degrees and they're calling for this rain to turn to snow. I got one good wiper blade, a cup of coffee, and 100 miles to go before I feel your loving arms and taste your sweet lips kissing me hello. Well, I'd have been home by now, but the van ran out of gas on 26. The gauge is broken, yeah, I know you told me that I ought to get it fixed. Got the Appalachian Mountains yet to cross and what they call a wintry mix. So say a prayer for me in this old van. The tires are getting pretty slick. Say a prayer for this old pilgrim out here on the road tonight. Say a prayer for all the children have no one to hold them tight. Don't forget about the soldiers and their loved ones who've gone on. And then say a prayer for peace, and we all make it safely home. Well, I made a little money on this trip, sold a few CDs, made some new friends out in Texas, saw some old friends here in Tennessee. I'll admit the snow looks pretty and the headlights shining on the tree. I just hope to get the salt trucks rolling before the asphalt starts to freeze. Say a prayer for this old pilgrim out here on the road tonight. Say a prayer for all the children who have no one to hold them tight. Don't forget about the soldiers and our loved ones who've gone on. And then say a prayer for peace, we all make it safely home. I'll say a prayer for peace, and that we all make it safely home. Well, thank y'all. It's great to be back. I tell you what, a lot of, well, give you more information than you require probably. I was conceived in North Carolina, but I was born in Tennessee. So I'm bilingual. I grew up in Morristown, and tomorrow night in Morristown, I'll be doing my annual show. I don't know how many years I've been doing it, but I think Red was in the first grade the first time I did it. So that's been, what, 10 years ago or something like that, yeah. This next song is written about a good friend of Joan and mine. We worked with her. I had a day job once. I worked in a graphics company. And this gal worked with my wife, Joan, and I. That's where Joan and I met. This gal, she's just wonderful. She's still one of her dearest friends, and that's been since 1991. So that's been, what, 6 years or something. It's funny how some people team up, because she's just one of the most wonderful people in the world. And her husband was the most uptight guy that ever was. I mean, just squeaky tight, you know? So I wrote him this song. 2, 3, 4. Well, everything's black or white with you. Everything's either false or true. Everything's either yes or no. Ain't no maybe, no I guess so. Ain't no in between, no gray. Ain't no bend and ain't no sway. Everything's either hot or frigid. You're gonna hurt your head if you stay that rigid. Lighten up, bend just a little. The ends work good, now work on the middle. Go with the flow, roll with the punch. Float like a leaf on the tide. Forget about where you're going and enjoy the ride. Out there needing smelling, there's a thank you Lord needing yelling. Just haul off, get a little crazy, it won't hurt nothing just to be a little lazy. I'm a firm believer in getting it done. Ain't no law says it can't be fun. Life's going on right now, my friend, and you keep acting like you're waiting for the end. Line up, bend just a little, the ends work good, now work on the middle. Go with the flow, roll with the punch, float like a leaf on the tide. Forget about where you're going, it don't matter where you're going. Hell, you probably won't make it anyway, so enjoy the ride. Came from down there south of Lubbock, cotton fields and Texas wind, and we ran off to Corpus Christi, never did go back again. We took some money and my guitar, stuck out our thumbs, looked back and smiled. Down along the coast of Texas, things went good there for a while. We spent a month on Padre Island, drifted up to San Jose, worked a while in Matagorda, and hung around Galveston Bay. We take our money and my guitar, laugh and sing away the miles. Down along the coast of Texas, things went good there for a while. She started playing my old guitar, singing songs in some cafe. Got $40 in her tip jar, and I ain't seen her since that day. She took the money and my guitar, stuck out her thumb, looked back and smiled. Down along the coast of Texas, things went good there for a while. Well, I don't mind about the guitar. She played it better anyway. And I understand about her leaving. It was them old songs pulled her away. She took the money and my guitar, but all I'm missing is her smile. Down along the coast of Texas, things went good there for a while. Thank you very much. It's a heck of a way to lose the guitar, I tell you what. Conceived in North Carolina, born in Tennessee. Have y'all, you remember when they used to have a highway called I-40 that went to North Carolina? Right there at the Tennessee state line, there's a sign that says Waterville. You may remember seeing that little sign. There's a little power plant there, a little hydraulic power plant that was run by Carolina Power and Light, and then later on Duke Power owned it. That's where I'm from. I was conceived there and born in Morristown, Tennessee. Because my dad got a job in Morristown, we moved to outside of Morristown, and that's where I grew up. I grew up right just 40 miles down the road here. Our family was really close. My mother was from Buncombe County. My dad's from Mitchell County. Nobody knows where Mitchell County is, but everybody knows where Buncombe County is because it's where Asheville is, and all their kids live there now. But we were a very close family, 15 first cousins, and my mother was one of 7 children, and they were all boys except for 6. They're still awake, Red. It's good. But anyway, we, like some of you people maybe had close families or maybe a lot of siblings or whatever, we drew names. Our 15 cousins, we'd draw names, and then every year we had a limit. You could only spend so much. You know, whatever you could buy at McCrory's 5 and 10 cent store probably was what it was. But we would never wrap our presents. We would get our presents, whoever's name you got, and then we would go to Christmas, and then we'd get whoever was holding Christmas that year. We'd all go in the living room, all the cousins, and we'd say, okay, who's got Patsy's name? Somebody'd raise their hand. Everybody had their presents in like a grocery bag with a towel on top of it so you couldn't see it. And then Patsy'd go in there in grandmother's room, shut the door, and then whoever had her name, we'd wrap her present and everybody'd tell funny stories about her. And then it'd be my turn, and I'd go in there listening at the door, and everybody'd be laughing and wrapping my present. And it was fun, and we did that for years and years and years, and we still do. There's only like 6 of us left, 7. There's 7 of us left now. But we still do it every chance we get, and sometimes it might be 2 weeks after Christmas or 2 weeks before Christmas, but back in 1990, I was between wives, and that's a really bad thing for me because pretty soon they're coming to get me and put me in jail for not paying my bills or something because I'm just no good by myself, you know. Well, I'd been out on the road playing, and it was Christmas Eve, and Christmas I was going up to Buncombe County to be with my cousins, and we were going to have our Christmas together. And Christmas Eve, 30 years ago. And I was all excited about going. I'd have my suitcase, ready to go and everything. And it was about 10:30 or 11 o'clock Christmas Eve, and it occurred to me that I was thinking, there's something missing. And I had drawn my cousin Joanne's name. And what was missing was I'd forgot to buy her a present. And it was 10:30 or 11 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and I thought, I wonder what she'd like from 7-Eleven. And then it occurred to me, I had an epiphany. I remember reading in the Charlotte Observer that a miracle had occurred in Gastonia, North Carolina. They had built this thing called a super Walmart, and it was open 24 hours a day. And I thought, who in the world would ever go to Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning? I found out. Yoga pants stretched and holy, purple hairdos, holy moly. People shopping in their bathrobes, pierced in places that ain't their earlobes. Swipe that card, scan that barcode, late night Walmart shopper. Snotty noses, soggy diapers, wipe them kids with handy wipers. Buy 'em junk food, feed 'em candy. There's McDonald's, ain't that handy? One lane open, well that's just dandy. Late night Walmart shopper. Out in the parking lot it's quiet, while here in the side there's quite a riot. It's enough to make folks jump and holler. They're saying Walmart's gonna get an in-store tattoo parlor. Screaming kids and screaming mothers, couples dressed like one another. Shopping carts full of Cheetos, giant Cokes and ranch Doritos, turkey, jerky, cheese burritos, late night Walmart shopper. Drag a back chair back by the TV. They're running Old Duck Dynasty. When we hit the checkout, don't forget that we need to pick your grandma up a pack of cigarettes. Magazines with made-up headlines, a plumber's crack with a tool belt tan line. Tonight I'm wearing something classic, old sweatpants with stretched elastic. I think that they look fantastic. Late night Walmart shoppers. Hey honey, you think a Speedo would make me look fat? We're going to do a tune here, and I'd like to dedicate this song to everybody that lives between White Pine, Tennessee, and Morganton, North Carolina. The reason that I picked those two places is my brother Greg lives in White Pine, and I live in Morganton. And back when Helene came through, a tree fell on his house, and we had about a 110-foot tree fall on our property. That's how wide it was. And traveling around, people always say, when I'm traveling around America, people say, how are things in Asheville? Because that's what they know about. They know about Asheville, but they don't know about Waynesville and Burnsville and all the other villes that got washed away. So I want to dedicate this song to all those people in the middle. Well, it rained every day for a week. We had pots and pans and cans everywhere there was a leak. The sheetrock in the living room came down in one big sheet on the couch. And the TV and you and me. Tell you what we need to do. Remember that above the clouds the sky is always blue. And if I was a betting man, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd bet it all on me and you. We put every dime we had in that old car, but it's getting hard to count on, 'cause it's getting hard to start. We're better off to walk these days if it ain't all that far to the place we gotta be, you and me. Tell you what we need to do. Remember that above the clouds the sky is always blue. And if I was a betting man, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd bet it all on me and you. Well, I hear they're calling for a hurricane, and I don't think this old house can stand another drop of rain. Forget evacuation, that old car won't stand the strain, but we'll make do. We'll make it through, me and you. Tell you what we need to do. Remember that above the clouds the sky is always blue. And if I was a betting man, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd bet it all on me and you. Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd bet it all on me and you. Thank you very much. When we put out our first CD back 100 years ago, they just had invented CDs. As a matter of fact, our first recording was on a cassette tape. So that goes back a ways. And anyway, because of radio stations like this one, public radio stations, college radio, public radio, those that depend on you guys to keep going. Because of you, people like me and all of us that are on the Blue Plate Special, how many do you book a year? I don't know, hundreds of people a year that come across WDVX. Because of these stations playing my records, I suddenly became a national artist. I could play in San Francisco because K-Pig was playing my records. Public radio. For those of us who do for all your favorite songwriters and storytellers and all that, it's because of public radio. Well, I got to touring in Texas and toured in Texas a lot over my life because they're music people down there. Let me tell you, music is big, big, big in Texas. But the thing is, they don't need us because they got plenty of people down there that can play the guitar and write songs. But luckily, they let me do it once in a while. So I wrote a song about one of them guys called Molly and Colleen. A lot of miles and pretty good money. His songs were good and his jokes were funny, and his guitar stayed in tune. Riding around in an old Ford van, we're pretty damn close to a damn good band. A lot of howling at the moon. Well, people loved to hear him sing Jimmy Dale or Jimmy Dean, just any old Texas song. Well, he could make them laugh or bring them to tears, make them dance and drink warm beer, all night long. Texas music's all he was and all he ever really loved, except for Molly and Colleen. He'd hawk his guitar, sell his boots, but he never would have put down roots, except for Molly and Colleen. Those boys of his could play Bob Wills, sound so good it'd give you chills, and then two-step till your eyes got buggy. And then he'd sing a slow one by Ray Price, make all the girls feel so nice that on the way home, all the boys got lucky. Well, he never took the Nashville route, though no one ever had a doubt that he could have been a big star. Ah, but he loved Texas way too strong to ever stay away that long, so he never left the Lone Star. Texas music's all he was and all he ever really loved, except for Molly and Colleen. He'd hawk his guitar, sell his boots, but he never would have put down roots, except for Molly and Colleen. There's a honky-tonk just west of town. When he quit playing, it shut down. People all just stayed at home. Well, he died on Molly's front porch swing with his old guitar and Molly's ring, humming an old Newberry song. Texas music's all he was and all he ever really loved, except for Molly and Colleen. He'd hawk his guitar, sell his boots, but he never would have put down roots, except for Molly and Colleen. Thank you very much, Molly and Colleen. When I'd lost total contact with Eli and his mom and dad. They used to come to my shows a lot when he was a youngin'. And, of course, then he went off and did all that teenage stuff. And then another friend of ours who's a wonderful portrait artist in our town said, you know, Eli Laughrun's going to be playing at this winery. And I said, he started playing again. Well, let's go see him. So we went to see him, and I sat there like this. And I said, come out here. I want to show you my car door. Anyway, so I invited him over to my studio, and we started jamming together. And he was playing some just amazing stuff. And he played this one tune. And I said, you wrote that? And he said, yeah, I wrote it. And I said, well, what's the name of it? He said, well, I haven't thought of a name for it. He said, what would you call it? I said, I'd call it Falling Off the Roof. Just seemed like a good name for it. So this is the first song that we co-wrote. He wrote everything, and I wrote the title. So I'm going to let him play everything for you. Eli. When I was growing up, my people are mountain people, Appalachian, Blue Ridge mountain people. I don't know how long we've been in the mountains of North Carolina, but I'm pretty sure we go back to the North Carolina thaws. Been there a long time. And, you know, there's all those old folk tales and legends and stuff that go around. And I remember when I was a kid, I saw this movie, and this guy had a pet crow. And I told my mama, I said, I want to get me a pet crow. And she said, son, don't ever, ever get around a crow. She said, they're harbingers of death. And so I got scared of crows there for a long time, you know. And then I started watching YouTube, and I found out how intelligent that corvids are. And there's this thing, you can watch it, it's still on YouTube. This tells you how smart crows are, smarter than people. Any of you ever try to do anything with a black walnut? Yeah. To begin with, your hands are going to be black for the rest of your life, and you're going to need a big hammer, and then you're going to starve to death. Because they're just, you know, if you've messed with them, you know. Well, they've got them in Japan, it turns out. Now, there was a murder of crows in Tokyo, and they made a diet. You can see it. Just look. This one crow decided maybe there's something in here worth eating, so he picked it up and thought, how am I going to get in here? And he just flew over to the road and dropped it in the road, and the car came by and ran over it. And so all these crows were like, you're a genius. And they went down there and started trying to eat this nut. And, of course, every time they'd get down there, just like when you're driving down the highway and you see them in the road, they had to leave. So they'd leave. Every time they'd try to get something to eat, the cars would come. So this same crow, he said, got to be a better way. He went and got one and dropped it in a pedestrian crosswalk. And a car ran over it. And then the light changed and people started walking back and forth. So the crows all went down there and just ate while people were walking by. And I thought, I'm going to put a crow feeder on our property. We've been on our property for right at 30 years, and no crow, there's crows all over the place. We've got mountains and woods behind us, and they would never come in our yard. And about 4 days ago, we started having crows in the yard, and their favorite food is blueberry pancakes. A crow sat on my windowsill most of one whole day. So I banged some pans and I clapped my hands and I chased that bird away. Mama says they're bad luck, but he was back that very day, but he didn't stay. He just kept flying. He just kept flying. It scared me when I saw him. It scared me 'cause I'd heard about the bad luck curse, or maybe worse, that comes with those old birds. So I said, you best keep moving. I guess he must have heard, because that old blackbird just kept flying. He just kept flying. He flew by, he caught my eye, and he said, man, it's absurd how you call your karma bad luck, and then you blame it on a bird. And then I saw this thing on YouTube couple of weeks ago about the social lives and the family ties and the intelligence of crows. Now I put food and shiny objects in my yard, but you know, that old crow just keeps flying, flying right on by. Still I keep trying. We were gonna go to Mexico, but we never made it there, because we broke down in New Orleans, but we didn't really care. We were there in time for Mardi Gras, drinking wine and catching bees, walking down along the levee top with some girls from Port Louis. Might have had a better time, but I can't remember when. Lord, I guess we're both the rambling kind, and I hope it never ends. Every week it was a different job, every month another time. Friday nights along the roaring streets, Sunday mornings coming down. Honky tonks and roadhouse country bands, girls and bottles of Jim Beam. Pick up floorboards full of Lone Star cans and paid $8 in her jeans. And we might have had a better time, but I can't remember when. Lord, I guess we're both the rambling kind, and I hope it never ends. Now days roll by like some old railroad cars. Summers spin like roulette wheels. I would have thought we'd ever get this far and still around for the next deal. I guess we ought to let the wheels cool down. We could probably stand to sit a while, but there's still another 1,000 towns, still another million miles. Oh, and we might have a better time somewhere around the bend. Lord, I guess we're both a rambling kind, and I hope it never ends. Yeah, we might have a better time somewhere around the bend. Lord, I guess we're both the rambling kind, and I hope it never ends. Thank y'all for coming out.